Jonah Platt, whose father helped produce the latest Snow White film, had some very harsh words for star Rachel Zegler.
For context, Variety wrote a report recently titled "Inside Disney's Snow White Fiasco: Death Threats, Beefed Up Security, and a Social Media Guru for Rachel Zegler." EV Magazine wrote on X, "When you compare how Rachel Zegler spoke about Snow White to how other actresses who played live-action Disney princesses spoke about their character, really underlines just how poorly she carried herself."
Rachel Zegler just keeps making things worse with the Walt Disney Company. The more that she tries to defend this movie, the more that she tries to spew her agenda onto the general public, it's only making matters worse. Not just for Bob Iger, but for whatever is left of the image of Disney.
Backstage drama in Disney's tumultuous live-action Snow White remake, everything has just blown up. According to reports, Rachel Zegler was abruptly thrust into a legal battle with Disney's best attorneys. The actress was compelled to attend a high-stakes meeting to discuss serious matters, such as breaching her contract, damaging Disney's brand, and even the possibility of lawsuits. According to sources who say the tension between her and the company has reached a breaking point.
"I'm in the thick of rehearsals for Romeo plus Juliet, so I'm going to get out of here. Bye for now." The Variety story notes how a couple of minutes after posting this, she replied to her own tweet and wrote, "And always remember, free Palestine."
Variety breaks down how after this tweet went viral, the studio was shocked that she would mix a promo tweet with a political statement. As a result, Mark Platt flew to New York to speak with her in person.
The most recent revelation just feeds the flames of a movie that is already engulfed in catastrophe. Snow White has been doomed from the start, with everyone pointing the finger at someone for months due to box office setbacks, incessant social media trolling, and the beginning of turmoil. Executives and even fans are attempting to identify the person responsible for this train accident. Rachel Zegler is currently at the center of the chaos after being pulled into an urgent legal meeting. The main query is, how did a highly anticipated movie fall apart so badly? And what does it say about star power when everyone is watching? Following rumors that Disney is frantically trying to make up for its losses, this legal bombshell gets dropped. The movie was a box office failure. Audiences abandoned it after critics ripped it apart. Disney first attempted to accuse Zegler and Gal Gadot of violating promotional guidelines or defaming the 1937 Snow White masterpiece. But Zegler's team is retaliating. They allege covert behind-the-scenes actions amounting to internal sabotage. Zegler's confrontation with Disney's legal staff indicates that things are going to become heated. Unsightly lawsuit: if negotiations fall through, Disney may take legal action. Celebrity drama is no longer the only aspect of this. It's a struggle for narrative control. Disney has enormous stakes. The film that started their empire is Snow White.
Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. Zegler isn't the only one who has made political statements, though. Her co-star Gal Gadot, who plays the Evil Queen, expressed her staunch support for Israel.
Snow White's budget was around $240 to $270 million. It has made $43 million domestically so far and around $84 million globally.
Expectations were really high. Large budget, a cast full of celebrities, and a plot that has been updated for the modern era. However, when the movie finally came out, critics criticized it for deviating too much from the original's magic, and Disney fans weren't amused, accusing the studio of losing Snow White's soul and caving in to fashion. Disney HD panics quickly. It was evident that this was not another failure. The Snow White heritage could be destroyed. What did Disney do? Then, they called Rachel Zegler in for a last-minute meeting in an attempt to save their reputation while preparing for a possible legal nightmare that may expose everything. This catastrophe demonstrates how risky it is to alter well-loved classics. Disney finds itself in a difficult position as it attempts to bring fairy tales up to date for contemporary viewers while preserving the timeless charm that made them so beloved. Next,
received backlash for various reasons in the lead up to its release. Zegler had called the original Snow White movie dated and weird and said Prince Charming was a stalker. EV Magazine wrote on X, "When you compare how Rachel Zegler spoke about Snow White to how other actresses who played live-action Disney princesses spoke about their character, really underlines just how poorly she carried her."
Insiders disclosed Zegler wasn't by himself. She arrived, prepared for battle with her own legal team. That action says a lot. She was aware that things would soon get unpleasant. The main problem with Disney: she allegedly called the princess creepy in her writings and interviews, and she ruined the original plot. The studios are now allegedly claiming that she broke her contract by disparaging Disney's history. Zegler's team, however, is refusing to back down, asserting that she was merely carrying out orders. They claim that Disney instructed the actors to embrace the film's progressive twist. What began as audacious remarks could now result in contract violations and other legal calamities. This might escalate into a full-scale conflict if Disney chooses to play hardball. When a film fails, this problem demonstrates how easily artistic freedom can turn into a legal minefield. Walking a fine line, Zach is caught in the storm. She's not alone, either. Gal Gadot is also beginning to be mentioned in whispers. She has been avoiding direct inquiries about the instability surrounding the movie, even though she hasn't been drawn into any public crisis discussions.
Quickly mention this, the son of Snow White producer Mark Platt, Jonah Platt is the son's name. He is speaking out publicly against Rachel Zegler and blaming her for the film's catastrophic failure at the box office. I mean, he's totally right. Now, of course, as we covered, the movie is terrible anyway, in its own right. It was probably going to underperform regardless. People are tired of the soulless cash grab remake thing.
According to insiders, Gal Gadot's contract might also contain stringent media guidelines, which might make Disney's attorneys target her next. Zegler is taking the heat for the time being, though when a movie fails, Disney focuses on her. To show that even the biggest celebrities in Hollywood are subject to studio pressure, the conflict between performers who say they followed the studio's lead and the studios looking for someone to blame is revealed by this disaster. It serves as a harsh reminder that court cases begin when the spotlight goes away. Disney had red signs before the chaos. The film's contemporary tone was criticized by test viewers for destroying the original's mystique. Outrage was provoked by significant character changes, particularly with the dwarves. Disney was aware of the warning flags, but nobody anticipated such a strong pushback. Next,
The movie has all kinds of problems that could be pinned partly on the producer, like the producer did not do a good job. Nobody who produced this movie did a good job. Apart from all of the political controversy started by the actress. So the movie had all kinds of problems creatively and conceptually. There's no doubt that she drove the final nail into this movie's coffin. She probably drove the final 2 or 3 nails into the coffin. And a lot of what you see with Zegler is really just this pretty common Gen Z mentality and approach to work.
social media erupted in rage as soon as those teasers were released. Fans blasted the remake for removing the timeless magic and pushing too much social messaging, accusing it of destroying the core of the original. Then it got worse because of Rachel Zegler's interviews. Outrage grew as her remarks disparaging the original romance went viral. This debacle demonstrates how a single viral moment can ruin everything, regardless of preparation and budget. The settlers are retaliating because they don't want to take the blame for the failure. Disney reportedly encouraged the actors to promote a contemporary, empowering version of Snow White. According to leaked communications, was Zegler simply carrying out orders, or was he acting erratically? Disney's talking points, particularly those regarding romance and gender roles, don't mesh well with the tone of the original.
She believes that she should be able to express herself and speak her truth, or whatever nonsense, regardless of the consequences to everybody else. In reality, you have a job. You're getting paid to do this job. You signed on the dotted line. You took on the role. You took the job. And that job comes with certain basic responsibility. And one of the most basic is the responsibility to control yourself and comport yourself a certain way publicly so that you don't harm the project and thereby harm all the hundreds of other people who are working on it. Because she's not stupid. Well, she might be stupid, but she's not so dumb that she didn't realize that by, for example, coming out and saying that all Trump supporters deserve to suffer.
Fresh revelations surrounding Disney's live-action Snow White have sparked renewed controversy, with lead actress Rachel Zegler now suggesting she's being unfairly blamed for public comments that were allegedly dictated by Disney's own promotional team. According to insiders, Zegler's widely criticized remarks about the film's modern approach may not have been spontaneous, but carefully crafted talking points provided by Disney itself. If true, this raises troubling questions about the company's integrity, especially as it appears to now distance itself from the fallout. The situation highlights the potential risks actors face when studios abruptly change direction after a project is completed. Zegler, along with her castmates, is left to weather the storm while Disney scrambles to control the narrative. A looming emergency legal meeting only intensifies speculation that the studio is prioritizing financial damage control over accountability. If a private settlement isn't reached quickly, Disney may resort to aggressive legal maneuvers to minimize costs and silence further embarrassment. Behind the scenes, reports indicate Disney's leadership is deeply divided. Some top executives pushed for a bold reimagining of Snow White, hoping to modernize the tale and appeal to younger audiences. Others warned that straying too far from the original story would alienate longtime fans and damage the brand. The result, a film that bore the name Snow White but lacked the timeless magic that made it beloved for generations. Adding further fuel to the fire, Zegler reportedly hinted at sabotage from within Disney's upper ranks, suggesting that someone may have deliberately set her up to take the fall. If that's accurate, this situation surpasses mere bad PR and enters the realm of internal betrayal. What's more puzzling is Disney's decision to focus on legal action rather than owning the consequences of its internal conflict. The corporation's apparent refusal to accept responsibility and its readiness to deflect blame onto talent exposes a troubling pattern. Rather than uniting to fix the damage, the studio seems more intent on preserving its image, even at the cost of the very people hired to represent it. Ultimately, the Snow White saga serves as a cautionary tale about corporate mismanagement and fractured leadership. And for Rachel Zegler, it may be a harsh reminder of how easily a rising star can be sacrificed to protect a faltering empire.
Disney's Bob Iger says their mission is to entertain, not send messaging as Snow White sales compete for worst performing live-action Disney adaptation ever. Infusing messaging is not what we're up to, Iger said. We need to be entertained.